Alright, peace and greetings, YouTubers. So I watched the Beyonce Lemonade project, and overall I think it's something that everybody should check out when you get a chance. I haven't really been in a position to really dive deep into the music and give you like a song by song critique because the project just came out like an hour or two ago. But overall, from what I saw and what was presented, I really enjoyed and liked what I saw. And I like it for a number of different reasons. One of the main reasons is because the thing about somebody like Beyonce is in a position where she understands the concept of being an artist. And not just being an artist, but letting your music and anything that you put your name on become a social phenomenon or become something that is a movement or something that's huge. So even if you're in a position where you may not even necessarily like Beyonce, you're still kind of curious about what she's doing because everybody else is talking about it. And I think that's something that doesn't really happen in music anymore, and she's one of the few people that can still bring that element of, I want to say, surprise or anticipation. And I mean, not just anticipation, but like high anticipation for a project. Like when I think back to being, a child, there were a lot of entertainers who, when it was time for something that they were, releasing to come out, whether it was a music video or a song, it was just a huge hoopla. It was going to be a phenomenon. Like, I remember, I think I was 4 or 5 when Michael Jackson's Black or White video was coming out. It came, I remember it premiered on Fox, and I swear it came on right after The Simpsons. And but that was like a big moment, because all week it's like Michael Jackson, because Bad had been out, like the last album was Bad, it had been like 3 or 4 years since that project, and it's like Michael Jackson is coming back and blah 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 blah. So all week everybody's talking about this project that's coming out, and then you saw the album artwork, and you don't even see his face, it's just the little crown and all the stuff, and you're like, whoa. So then when the video comes, it's just a big hoopla. And the same can be said for when Whitney Houston had like the Constitution Hall concert in like '97 on, I forgot what network it was on, but they showed her concert from DC at Constitution Hall. Or even Madonna, when Madonna came out with music, just the music video. I remember VH1 doing like a whole promo the whole week before the video was supposed to premiere, and around that same time period, Janet's All For You music video was coming out, because it was like, okay, she's been kind of on a break for a minute, now she's back. Like, that kind of thing doesn't really happen anymore. So when somebody like Beyonce, who has basically, I always say this in my videos when I talk about music, it's like she's graduated from that school of artists who were children in the 80s, teenagers and young adults in the 90s, who followed and studied all of those acts who were the A's, say-all, be-all, entertainers and celebrities of that time. She's well studied, and she's taken the great elements that have come from all those acts from the past, and she's, how do I word this? I want to say she's went from where they left off and pushed it even further into the next, round, or the next level, or to the next generation, or however you want to word it. But she does a great job of doing that. Like, when you just think about the caliber of her success, even though I don't know if I put her in the same category as Michael and Madonna and Whitney and all of them yet, even though she's literally knocking on the door, and we eventually have to open it and let her in there because she's earned her spot there. But she has done so much in I think it's been about 20 years since she's been out, close to 20. In these 20 years that she's been out, she has done so much, and there's just so many doors and different things that she's been able to kick down in an era where it's not really happening for other artists of her same caliber or even her same demographic. So it's just amazing to see how far she's come. And going back to the project, I see so much growth in her as an artist, because someone like Beyonce, I was never really that big of a fan until probably 5 or 6 years ago. When the 4 project came out is when I really started paying attention to her, because it's the minute I heard Love on Top and she started modulating, and I'm like, okay, somebody's actually bringing modulations back in music. Okay, Beyonce, I rock with you. And then, the Beyonce project came out, and, everything that was with that, I even did a video on that. Ever since then, I'm kind of like, wow. And then when you incorporate the tours and the stadium this and the Super Bowls this and it, just, she knows her brand, and she knows that she's going to have to bring it each and every time. And it's that hunger that you see from her that makes you appreciate her. So even if you don't really like her, you respect what she does. You know what I mean? Now, her fans might be a pain in the neck on occasion, because sometimes I'm like, y'all just chill a tiny bit. But at the same time, hell, if you're excited about your favorite artist, you're going to be excited about your favorite artist. So you get that right, because I'm sure I annoy the hell out of people with my favorite entertainers. But anyway, getting back to the project, the music I like that the music is very, very different. It's not really commercial, and it forces you to really just have to pay attention to the lyrics that are being presented. Like, even the way that it's visually presented with the videos, there's not a lot of heavy dancing, there's not a lot of heavy distractions. The visuals complement the lyrics of the music, and even with the lyrics complement the musical arrangements. I like the different things that she's done with the background arrangements on some of the songs. I like that she's doing something different. Literally every song is a different genre of music. And every song is something a little bit different than what she's done before. Because in my last video where I was talking about music, I was like, please, God, I'm cool with trap music, but don't let this be a whole album full of trap music with a bunch of 7-Elevens and bow downs and flawless read. I don't want to hear that for a whole album. So, you know, she gave me your 1 or 2 songs like that, and then there's so many other different things that you can listen to. And I'm like, finally, she gets it. There's a thing called growth that I appreciate about her, because at least since the 4 album, every album seems to just keep growing as far as the sound. She keeps expanding what it is that she's doing. And the thing about it is now she's not afraid to be vulnerable, because now that she's reached a caliber of success, people are going to pay attention to whatever she does anyway. She can burp in the mic and people will think they're going to think it's the greatest thing in the world. But what I like about this specific project is it's such a gamble. It is a huge gamble, the way that it's being presented and the kind of content that's on it. It's a gamble. One, because people at this point, you know Beyonce as the performer, and a lot of times you try to associate her performance act with her music, but they kind of differ, because her music is going more of a mid-tempo, very in-depth, earthy kind of route for like the last 2 albums. But the stage performances, people, you know, they're ready for the single ladies and the pyrotechnics and the big hair and the shaking and everything like that. So it's like you have 2 different extremes, and she puts them together and somehow she makes it work. I like that she's talking about her personal life, or if it's not her life, she's done a good job of fooling us. But I like that she's being very transparent, because it adds an element of relatability. Sometimes these celebrities are so untouchable that you just put them in another box because you feel like you can't relate. But, you know, it seems like Jay-Z's been doing some stuff on the side, and he been tripping, and she felt some type of way about it. So she wrote and put a whole bunch of songs about it. But it's things like that that just go to show that there is an element of relatability, and that she's human. And even though you always see her as this A-list super powerhouse caliber of an entertainer, she has feelings and she has hurts and wants and needs like everybody else. And, you know, I like that the family is included within the video. There's lots of different things. Now, I'll say this. This has made me want the freaking audio from that elevator with Solange laying it out on Jay-Z. Like, I don't know what happened, but, you know, we've all seen that clip. But all I know is I agree with Solange. Whatever happened, I agree with Solange. Like, I'm on Solange's side. Just from the video alone, I'm Solange. So I would love to hear that audio. I was Team Solange on whatever happened. Jay-Z, I don't know what you did, but Solange clearly let us all know that you were the one that was wrong. But it's cool that she's opening up about her life and everything like that. And just overall, the visuals are different. Even these visuals, this is very visually different than the last project. It's very New Orleans, down in the bayou, southern life, just very, it's different. And the theme is like cohesive at the same time. It's not just a bunch of videos thrown together and try to, you know, here's your anthology. It's like all of it tells a story and it takes you somewhere. So even though you're cussing out Jay-Z for the majority of it, by the end of it, even though I did roll my eyes when she's talking about forgiveness, I said, what? No, I thought we was dragging Jay-Z for a minute. But okay, cool. You want to forgive him, we forgive him too. You know, it takes you on this journey. So I'm going to definitely check out the album and listen to it a little bit more. There's a song on there, I don't know what it's called, but I really liked it. And I really feel like whatever it is, it's this song that has a very, what do I want to say? Long story short, Anthony Hamilton needs to be on the remix to that song. When I figure out what it is, yeah, I'll update you on it. But that one really stuck out to me. There's another song that played towards the end. It came before Freedom. I don't know if it was like that Daddy Issue song or the song before that, but I really enjoyed that one because of the background vocal arrangements on it. That was pretty dope. And when you look at just the list of all the people who were involved with the project, she has a lot of heavy hitters in there, which is cool because she understands that even though she has all this raw talent and everything like that, she recognizes that sometimes collaborating with different people helps to bring out the best in a project and bring out the best in what she can offer. So that's kind of cool. And I also like that, once again, she's not afraid to finally speak out. One of my critiques about her is that I used to always say she never said anything when it came to political issues. She'd just always be quiet, and I felt that that was something that her team had her doing to keep her safe, because as long as she's safe, you know, everybody will like her. But the minute you start talking and repping your set, you know, this is the people, this is who is down for you, and then this side starts getting a little pissed and uncomfortable, and they don't know if they like you anymore. But you know, for her to have Mike Brown's Mike Brown's mother, and Trayvon Martin's mother, and you know, all these different people who have been victims of police brutality and everything like that, she's finally at a position where she's like, you know what, I'm going to use my voice to capture an audience, because at the end of the day, we all have the same voice, but the difference is she has a larger audience and a larger platform, and now she's finally using it to put a message out there that, hey, y'all need to get some of this mess together, because this is unacceptable. So I'm going to listen to the project and watch it a few more times, not today though, because I'm going to bed because I'm sleepy, but over the next few weeks, just you know, so I can really capture everything that she really wants to present with the album. I like what I've heard. It's different. I don't know how to do commercially as far as the music and everything. I didn't hear a lot of stuff that was very radio friendly, but in my opinion, that's fine because the radio's garbage anyway. But I'm out. Subscribe, share your 2 cents. Let me know what you think. Rest in peace, Prince.